In history records, specific names shine like inspirations, while others, equally deserving, often languish in obscurity. Joan of Arc, a name that should rightfully occupy a place of prominence, is a remarkable yet enigmatic figure. This video embarks on a journey to unveil the extraordinary life of a young peasant girl hailing from the tranquil village of Domremy in France. Her story unfolds against the unrestrained backdrop of the Hundred Years' War, where she emerged as a symbol of solid courage and unshakable faith. Joan's tale has divine visions, audacious missions, and relentless determination. Despite her brief stay on this earth, her strong spirit left a permanent mark on history. Yet the irony persists. Why does Joan of Arc, this iconic heroine, remain relatively obscure in history? As we investigate the chapters of her life, we aim to unravel this enduring mystery and pay homage to a young woman who defied the odds, altered the course of a nation, and continues to inspire generations with her extraordinary legacy. Born in the humble village of Domremy, Joan of Arc's journey to becoming a legendary figure in history began in the most unlikely of settings. Born around 1412 to Jacques d'Arc and Isabelle Romay, her family was simple, and her upbringing was unremarkable by the time's standards. Yet fate had other plans for this young peasant girl. Joan's life would take a dramatic turn when, at the tender age of 13, she began experiencing visions that would change her life and indeed the course of an entire nation. She claimed to have received divine messages from Archangel Michael, Saint Catherine, and Saint Margaret. They appeared to her in the fields and spoke of a divine mission. These spiritual voices were not mere apparitions to Joan. They were her guides, confidants, and source of solid conviction. They conveyed a sacred purpose that would become the driving force behind her actions. In an era when religious faith was at the heart of daily life, Joan's visions were not taken lightly. They were seen as a sign from God himself. The divine mission revealed to Joan was nothing short of amazing. She led the French army to victory against the English and their Burgundian allies during the Hundred Years' War. The stakes could not have been higher, and the odds were overwhelmingly against her. The Kingdom of France was in turmoil, and the English had gained a strong foothold. For Joan, the visions were not a burden, but a sacred duty. They filled her with purpose and an unshakable resolve. She saw herself as the instrument of God's will, a simple shepherd girl chosen to accomplish the extraordinary. Her divine calling inspired hope in a land ravaged by conflict, and she believed it was her destiny to bring about change. The audacity of her mission cannot be overstated. Joan was not a warrior. She was not a member of the nobility or a military strategist. In the eyes of the world, she was an ordinary girl from a small village. Yet her firm faith in her divine calling would propel her to defy convention, challenge social norms, and inspire an entire nation. Intriguingly, Joan's visions did not introduce in her a desire for power or conquest. She did not seek personal gain or glory. Instead, she saw her mission as one of liberation, a means to end the suffering of her people and restore the rightful heir, Charles VII, to the French throne. Charles VII's eventual decision to place his trust in Joan marked a turning point in the Hundred Years' War. His acceptance of her mission was not just an act of faith, it was a calculated risk that held the destiny of France in the balance. Joan of Arc, a simple village girl turned visionary leader, had secured the support of the Dauphin. Yet the challenges ahead were monumental, and the journey toward her divine mission had just begun. The epicenter of Joan's legendary journey lay in the city of Orléans, a place besieged by English forces for an unbearably long period. This section delves into the remarkable Siege of Orléans, a pivotal moment showcasing Joan's leadership and strategic brilliance. Orléans, a city nestled on the banks of the Loire River, found itself in a dire predicament. The English had laid siege to this strategic stronghold for months, tightening their grip on the city with each passing day. The situation was terrible, and the Orléans were running out of hope. Amidst this atmosphere of despair, Joan arrived like a harbinger of salvation. She brought with her an aura of unwavering faith and an unshakable resolve. Her divine calling was now put to the ultimate test, to liberate Orléans from the clutches of the English. With the mantle of leadership thrust upon her, Joan wasted no time. She understood that the key to victory lay in military strategy and rekindling the spirit and morale of the beleaguered Orléans residents. Her rallying cry was simple but powerful. "I will lead you to victory." Joan's leadership in the siege of Orléans was nothing short of extraordinary. She arranged a series of brilliant military maneuvers in just 9 days that caught the English off guard. Her strategic insight, combined with the firm determination of her troops, shattered the siege and forced the English to retreat in defeat. The liberation of Orléans was more than a military victory. It symbolized renewed hope. The people hailed Joan as a savior, a divine messenger who had delivered them from the brink of despair. Orléans, once on the verge of surrender, now stood as evidence of Joan's remarkable leadership. In 1430, Joan's fate took a grim turn when she was captured by the Burgundians, who were allies of the English. Her capture marked a significant setback in her divine mission, and she found herself in the custody of those who sought to undermine her cause. Joan's captors wasted no time subjecting her to a trial that would shake the foundations of her faith and convictions. Accused of deviation and witchcraft, she faced a hostile religious court heavily influenced by pro-English forces. The trial was demanding, with Joan defending herself against a barrage of accusations and interrogations. Despite the persistent analysis, she maintained her firm belief in her divine calling and the mission entrusted to her by God. Joan's journey from the triumph of Orléans to the darkness of captivity and trial. Her unwavering commitment and resilience were remarkable. Her strong spirit would continue to inspire, even in the face of seemingly impossible odds. Joan's story was far from over, and her ultimate destiny still awaited her. At the tender age of 19, Joan faced a fate that would send shockwaves through the records of history. Captured by her enemies, she was subjected to a trial that aimed to strip away the aura of divinity that surrounded her. Accused of heresy and witchcraft, Joan's steadfast faith and staunch conviction were put to the ultimate test. The trial that awaited Joan was far from impartial. Influenced by pro-English forces, the religious court was a hostile arena where her words and actions were scrutinized. Despite the relentless questioning, Joan refused to renounce her divine mission or compromise her beliefs. The trial culminated in a verdict that would send shockwaves throughout the Christian world. Joan of Arc, the humble shepherd girl turned military leader, was condemned to death by burning at the stake. The flames that consumed her body marked a tragic and horrifying end to a life that had burned so brightly with faith and courage. In the aftermath of her tragic end, Joan of Arc's legacy took on a life of its own, transcending the boundaries of time and place. It was a legacy of courage, faith, and unwavering conviction that resonated with generations to come. However, it wasn't until 1920, nearly 5 centuries after her untimely death, that Joan received a remarkable and long-awaited honor. She was canonized as a saint by the Catholic Church. This momentous event was evidence of the enduring impact of her life and the spiritual significance she had come to represent. Joan's canonization was not merely an acknowledgement of her role as a military leader, but a recognition of her profound spiritual journey. Her divine visions guided her every step and were seen as genuine and holy. Her steadfast commitment to her mission, rooted in unwavering faith, was celebrated as a virtue of the highest order. One of the intriguing aspects of Joan's life was her illiteracy. Joan's inability to read or write set her apart in a world where knowledge and education were often synonymous with power. Yet her lack of formal education did not diminish her intelligence or capability. Joan possessed a keen intellect and a sharp intuition that defied her illiterate status. She displayed a mysterious ability to grasp military strategy, understand the nuances of warfare, and inspire her troops. Her illiteracy was not a limitation, but a testament to the depth and diversity of human potential. Joan's physical beauty and charismatic presence were often noted by those who encountered her. Her captivating aura and commanding presence belied her humble origins. Yet Joan's true beauty lay not in her physical appearance, but in the strength of her character and the depth of her faith. Her unyielding belief in her divine mission and her undisputable courage drew people to her. She became a symbol of hope, a beacon of light in a dark and unruly era. Joan's charisma was not rooted in superficial charm, but in the unwavering conviction emanating from her soul. Joan of Arc's life and deeds are nothing short of legendary, yet her name often lingers in the shadows of history. The question that naturally arises is why? Why did this remarkable young woman, whose bravery altered the course of a nation, not receive the recognition she so rightfully deserved? Several factors contributed to Joan's puzzling obscurity. First and foremost, the era in which she lived was troubled with turmoil and disturbance. The Hundred Years' War had plunged France into chaos, and amid the chaos, Joan's remarkable achievements, though splendid, were but a brief glimmer. History records tend to be unkind to those who emerge in turmoil, and Joan was no exception. Another factor was Joan's defiance of gender norms. In an era when women were expected to be submissive and stay within the confines of societal expectations, Joan's audacious journey from a simple peasant girl to a military leader challenged the status quo. Her story posed uncomfortable questions about gender roles, and the world was not always ready to confront such questions. At its core, Joan's story is about faith. Faith in a divine calling, faith in oneself, and the possibility of change. Her unwavering belief that she could make a difference is a timeless reminder that faith can move mountains and change the course of history, no matter how dire the circumstances. Joan of Arc may have lived and died centuries ago, but her legacy endures as a beacon of hope and a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Her story continues to inspire, reminding us that even in our darkest hours, we have the power to rise above and achieve the extraordinary.